Hello, everybody. Meow, 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 meow. I wasn't sleeping. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much, Danikin, for giving me a call. I thought I'll get a quick little nap in at like I don't know 5:30 or something like that. And my wife was gonna wake me up, I guess, but then she left a note on the counter that says, "Went out with the girls. Thanks. Have fun." So I'm late. I have no excuse except for my guardian angel Kenny for waking me up. I'm sorry, guys, but Kenny, speak of the devil, Danikin Aquatics, he wants me to do a little something, which is a shout out, and that is for Stephen P. 2003 and Rico. We want to definitely get those guys to 1,000. And if we do it tonight, he will donate a $50 gift certificate to the stream, basically, for giveaways. So pretty cool that he is up for doing that. But basically, if you guys don't know who Rico Stan is, he does interviews with all of the really awesome people in the fish fam, basically. From, I mean, the biggest creators to brand new channels and influencers and smart people and dumb people. No, he just does, I mean, he doesn't have a line for where who he should interview or whatnot. It's basically he's interested in anybody who's contributing something to the hobby. He's not, there's no snobbiness or anything like that to it. So if you don't know who Rico Stan is, check out the channel, see if you'll like it, then subscribe, or do it the other way around. I mean, I'd do it the other way around if I were you. Just subscribe. If you don't like it, then quit. Uh, and basically, the other guy is Stephen P. 2003. Another person that I personally, I mean, I am subscribed with bells on, literally, to both those guys. So I think you should be too. So Stephen P. 2003 is a really entertaining channel. Him and his wife are on there doing live streams, and they play games that are interactive, like have their kids draw pictures of fish, and then we have to guess what they were drawing, or fun stuff like that. So in any case, I really, really like both those guys as human beings and as channels. So if yeah, Liquid Zoo says they're both okay dudes, if you ask me, but my opinion is kind of sketchy. Yeah, no, they're good channels to be into. Definitely, they both have something to contribute. They're not just like people begging for, and they're not begging for. Let's get to 1,000. That's Kenny. Kenny's the annoying one who's begging here. Thanks so much, John, for subscribing to Rico Stan. Hey, Patty's here, guys. Also, aren't these the cutest two hovering little creatures that you've ever seen? I don't know what their deal is. Like, they just been hovering for a while, but now I'm jinxed it. So those are the smudge spot cories, or the Corydora similis, and these three, the littlest ones, are all in the corner, but they have this cool little metallic band underneath their eye. Looks like they have a black eye or something, but it's purple. It's like a purple color. And how's everybody doing tonight, by the way? Collaborators of Curiosity, Liquid Zoo, Crown Tail Half Moon, Liquid Zoo, Only Fins, S, Ian, Patty, Jerome, Vazine, Xanadu. Let's see. We got lots of great people in here tonight. Of course, Danikin. We got Kenny in here. Tori E, Jamie Lee, Discus Addiction, Hillbilly Aquatics, Azaravian 2, Michael Long, Here Fishy, and Richard McCarthy. We got lots of great people in here tonight. J Rock Does Stuff, K Day, 1228. I feel like I'm doing one of those like commercials for a carpet store or something. K Day 1288. Ricky De Hoyos, hello. So all right, let's just keep on rolling on. Eve Howard, hello. Let's get down to live with the comments. Dragon Lair, evening. Hello. Eve Howard, thank you so much. New subscriber means a lot to me. 3G also welcome, but thank you so much. New subscriber, Eve Howard, new member subscriber, and I really appreciate that. Hit that community tab section and see what you've been missing. It's a lot of sources. That's what you've been missing. It's basically the bibliography that you always hated doing in school. That's what you've been missing. Is I do that on videos and stuff. Glitch Aquatics, hello. And then we have Eve Howard also did a $1.99 super sticker. So I really want to thank you for that also. Tam Shepard, hello. You have a Corey that likes to swim around with a school of rummy nose. He defected from the rest of the Corys. Oh, yeah. Hey, look who we have here. We have Stephen P. 2002, who is the guy that I said that you should subscribe to with glee. By the way, I am now the disembodied voice speaking from this tannin-filled tank. That's the shtick tonight. Oh, we have a $3 super sticker. Thank you so much from the Nano Aquarium guy. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's very appreciated. Stephanie Cooper, I'm glad to catch this. I'm thinking about setting up my new tank now. Right on. So, guys, that sketchy guy, Stephen P. 2003, he said, you know, I'm gonna rescue all the cute baby kittens in the world that need help. And no, actually, he invented cute baby kittens. So if you didn't know that, it's another reason to subscribe to his channel if you haven't yet. So no, but seriously, Kenny says he will donate two $50 gift cards to Aquatic Arts, who has a sale going at 30% right now. Got to do my little plug here. Tonight it's 30% off anything that they have left at the sale at this point. And they have some pretty cool stuff. They have quite a few fish that I still have. They have some Praecox rainbow fish, like that big red one there. That big one, I say, but it's only 2 inches. In my room, basically, to be a big one doesn't take much, and that should tell you a lot. So I like the little guys. But let's go over this tank too, by the way. So this is part from the order from Aquatic Arts that I did. I decided to go crazy and I dropped $300 on Aquatic Arts, and don't know why, other than, you know, I had one of those moments. I ate the whole container of ice cream, basically. Yeah, totally. Mentioned Discus Talk fundraiser and live stream giveaway Saturday. Crowntail Half Moon, yeah. So there is a Discus Talk fundraiser and live stream for discus research. And let's see if we have a mod in here that can share the link to that. I'd appreciate it. Let's see here. You know what? I think I can do some. Let me try to do something live. Let me see if I can actually do that live real quick. Crown tail half moons. Can I do it? No. Sorry, I can't. I can't actually make you a mod right now because I'm bouncing through StreamYard first. Sorry about that. If you mod me, I will share links. I want to mod you, Liquid Zoo. I'm sorry, I can't right now. Um, I wish I could. Uh, yeah, it's all good, Dragon Lair. No, I can't even see who my what do you call it? My mods and admins are right now because StreamYard doesn't tell you. So there's that. That's fun, right? Okay. So there's a sale going on with these guys though. So let me finish that little spiel, which is if you use the code that's in the description of this very episode. Ooh, these guys are getting feisty. They're going to be spawning soon. Uh, then you guys get 30% off if you use the code, which is uh, all in caps, no spaces, history, BF, bird, fire, are, B as in bird, F as in fire, and then 30. So now till Monday, prehistory BF 30, you'll get 30% off on anything at Aquatic Arts. And also, we'll toss your name into a giveaway that we'll do later as well. Now, the discus talk thing, also, I think we'll have a link coming. Oh, awesome, Danikin, thank you so much. So we got a link up there in there. And oh, all right, Good Life Aquatics. I appreciate it. Use the discount code today. Can't wait. Right on. Well, it totally erases. Some people say, oh, they got expensive shipping, and I agree it is a little expensive. But the quality of their fish, the lines they make sure they have, they try to breed in the U.S. from a network of breeders, and they'll say tank bred if that's the case. If it's not, then it won't. But they're trying to become completely that way, which to me is a big, admirable goal. But in any case, tonight I wanted to talk about Tannins. And forever forward, when we talk about Tannins, we have to say it like Caddyshack. Tannins. And basically, in this tank right now, what we have is we have Blackwater, and then we have Lackwater. Now, what is Lackwater? It's a thing I made up, and it is when you take all the chemicals and the pretty additives like this pod. All this stuff, by the way, I got from Aquatic Arts by no coincidence. This moringa leaf is going to last a whole, I don't know, 4 hours before it's eaten up. But these little smudge spot similis, they live all the way down to 5 pH as a very natural pH. Then we got cinnamon leaves in here. We've got jackfruit leaves, guava leaves, almond leaves, moringa leaves. The cinnamon ones are really pretty, the big long ones. And then we have banana leaf bunches tied up in here. And then coconut husk pod from a lotus. And basically, this, as well as some old almond leaves that you can see here. And we've got plants that are going to withstand acidity down pretty low. But Lackwater is not Blackwater. Lack with an L is what I like to call it when you just want the look of Blackwater as far as the stuff in there, the wood, this stuff. But I mean, yeah, this water's a little tea-ish, a little milky. It's got the combo of light color on it right now, where it looks more foggy than yellow. But it's because I've got all the fish in here have either purple or orange on them. I got these purple right here. These little purple rasboras, which are pretty rad. I love them. And then we've got the normal glow light form of them, but any Trigonostigma rasbora I really like. They're really pretty. I'm wondering if these cories are going to spawn tonight because the water is very clean and they were shipped. And sometimes when you ship fish and then you just let them out into a brand new tank, which if you guys saw my Blackwater series, you saw that about a week and a half ago. I started transforming this tank from a 7.4 or 5 pH tank that once held some gouramis that are chilling up here. Um, it's now hovering around 6.5 to 7, somewhere in there. I haven't tested it today, but that's what I call lack water. And the thing is, I have either boiled or used either boiled the really strong tannic stuff. So I didn't use any alder cones. I didn't use any Mopani driftwood. And the wood that I used has all been already soaked for a year at least, sitting in other tanks like this. And so I like to call that lack water because it still has the look. It still has some of the benefits in that the tannins have, antimicrobial properties, antifungal properties, and at low acidity, when you have real black water, you actually get the fermentation of the leaves. So if you have leaf litter at the bottom that is turning to mulm, the little critters like these shrimp or like these snails will actually chew up that stuff and they will spit it out, but their saliva, after being chewed, will turn it into a fermented mix. And in the wild, that occurs also, but it occurs in a huge scale. And so they can get water all the way down to the 2.5, 3.0. I mean, real acidic. Like that's like people call it Coca-Cola water, but that's not a joke. Like it's literally as acidic as Coca-Cola would be. In here you can see though, I want to keep shrimp, so I don't want it so acidic that happens. And the other thing is, I have a pump filter in here, so I don't want to keep it, a sponge and basically air pump stack corner filter. You can see it over here better. It's got ceramic beads in one section, a sponge at the bottom, and then finer sponges at the top. But in any case, it's going to be this tank. I still want it to, slightly be running a filter. This is the tank that was running for, how long? I guess 3 years with no filter, 2 years, 3 years without any filter at all. And you can see that the substrate I locked in has, that's actually an orange iron deposit that stained the earth. So there's minerality and stratification that was going on, and we were actually approaching some acidification and swings in the pH in this tank that were kind of looking like old tank syndrome. So what I did was I capped it off with 2 inches of sand, basically, and now we're going to have a Blackwater tank, and we already have the hardness from the old tank, and then we have the plants, which will help take out some of the nitrates and nitrites, but we'll still have also nitrobacillus bacteria alive at this point, whereas that does not occur when you have real true Blackwater conditions. Now, my other tank that is like this is this one, and this one has algae growing on it from time to time, and I'll clean it from time to time, but usually I leave it because of these guys. And these guys I got all from Aquatic Arts also. They are probably my favorite group, favorite type. If I had to pick a group of fish, probably my favorite. They are just really cool little fish. Stiphodons, they have a whole bunch of different groups of them that exist. And I think there's about 38 species. But they're really fun. They can take slightly acidic water, but then again, they don't want too many TDS. So that tank actually is buffered, and it will never go below 6 because of how it's buffered. And likewise, ammonia will become much less toxic in that tank because it will become ammonium as a gas and evaporate out. So a little tip there. Thank you so much, Jay Oliver. I appreciate you joining as a member. Seriously, that's very kind of you. I respect your content and your thoughts very highly. So thank you. Welcome to the community, and I'm sure people will be happy that you're here. And oh yeah, Kenny's got that peppermint pike's head gourami. Man, so good. Um, those things are so cool looking. They're like these chocolate gourami, but they're real long, and I mean they look like a pike cichlid, but they're gourami and a little smaller. They're really cool. But in any case, in this actual tank, I've actually been talking to the people at Aquatic Arts about what is it that I'm doing, because my gobies here, my Stiphodon, see that male? He's in spawning dress right there. Kelly Huff, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. I do. So the colorful little blue and yellow guys are the uh, neon blue Stiphodons. Now we also have neon gold Stiphodons, but why is he in his mating dress? It's this fat bottom girl over here. Where did she go? Come back. But we've also got some ladies that are, slightly plump that are showing off for the male there. Oh, here comes the cichlids coming through, ruining it for everybody. But what we do have is we have one female Stiphodon it looks like she swallowed a friggin' bead. She looks like a female python. There's another one that's really big. And believe it or not, in that little body, they can hold 2,000 to 4,000 eggs in that species, where that male is cruising by that female there. That's his objective, probably, is that female. But we have 3 species in here. We don't know if they crossbreed. Nobody knows in the hobby if that's a successful thing, because the problem is when they spawn, they actually they might even do it like right here, right now. This is the behavior when I've seen it happen before. That male there, who's all colored up. And they'll start doing a dance, and then they'll twist around each other, and they kind of do this hide and seek thing where the female will go up somewhere, and then the male will come and try to find her, and then they'll twist around each other in this kind of weird, like spiraling double helix looking thing that they do for just half a second, and they both release the egg and sperm, and that makes it into a cloud of milky water. Now, unfortunately for them, I have the feeling of a creek for them with water falling, which actually creates negative ions. I've got tannins and semi-acidic water, but not strongly acidic water, and basically no TDS. That's what I think is causing the conditions where they keep spawning like that. But in the wild, they would be on the Pacific Island somewhere. Here she comes. The most beautiful Stiphodon female in the world. 2 other Stiphodons. She's low like a log. She's basically a Coke can of a Stiphodon. Oh, here's the other one, too. Got both of them. So the males are pretty excited that those females are, I mean, it looks like they ate a roll of quarters. So in any case, let's see here. Stephen P. Boom just ordered 12 Adelphi quarries and 12 super blue quarries. Only $400. Oh, man. Adelphis are cool, though. You can make money off of them. They're easy to breed. And the blue emperor carry tetras are really pretty also. Are those, is that from Dan's Fish? He had some of those a while back. Really cool fish. In any case, so the males are in here, the females right up here. We got the little new nearite snail cleaners. This rock used to have tufts of blackbeard and of this Marimo mossball algae all over it. In one night of having it in there, it was gone because of that tiny little snail. Oh, right on. So you got that from Dan's Aquatics. Aquatic art. Dan's Aquatics, redfish, bluefish, any number of personal breeders. I mean, like George Aquaballs, Danikin, people like that. Of course, I trust. Select Pet or Select Aquatics, which does uh, Mile High plecos, and that is so I guess what's that? Bodrock and then also Greg Sage are the two guys who have companies that I also buy from. All Oddball, Eric Bodrock and his wife, and then Greg Sage, who basically invented the super red pleco. Ooh, look at, we got the new Bumblebee, total freshwater goby. Its whole life it spends in freshwater. But I love to say, yeah, I mean, those are all people that I support big time. And Aquatic Arts, I've been with for 4 years. I've been supporting them. So they're the company that you get to hear me whine on and on about, hey, get 30% off. But honestly, I think those other companies are all doing it great too. And there's not a ton of companies doing it great, nor are there a lot of big companies doing it great, in my opinion. So I'm real big on ethics in the fish hobby, and Dan's Fish has got that in spades, definitely. And so does Aquatic Arts, and all the people who work both places are really passionate about fish. So that makes a difference to me that they're making money that's like a living, yet okay, here we go. Here's the big fat bottom girl female and the pretty jewel colored male, and they're going on and on. Yeah, Greg Sage, he's also super helpful. If you email Greg, he will tell you all about if you're trying to breed plecos. Oh, how did that male luck out? He's got both of the females. And he's got one female that's actually got her spawning garb up now, which that's unusual. She has black dots all over her body. Let's see if she comes around too. Because we might actually see them spawn. And these are ones that will not spawn ever successfully in an aquarium. No one has ever done it successfully. But these Stiphodons, gosh, they're gorgeous and fun and entertaining to watch. They live in the waterfalls and creeks and fresh water from Papua New Guinea all the way over to Hawaii. Here's that big old female. And they're going to continue to tease us, I guess, with this mating game of chase. And they're back over here. This is a different male and female now. And here comes the other male swimming back over to say, am I hot? Am I hot? Am I hot enough for you? And there we go. Look at that. You can actually see her eggs. If you saw the way she was bent there with the light kind of coming in behind her, you can actually see the eggs in her belly. And after they spawn, that dark lump is gone. So after they make this cloud of, fertilized eggs, basically. Kind of interesting. But in any case, so let's talk about Blackwater. Here, Fishy, thanks for throwing out the Discus Research Raffle Canada info. Oh, you lost all your Stiphodons to old age, Dragon Lair. Yeah, that's rough. I've lost some of them to old age too, because especially early on, they were caught. See, she's doing her little dance here. They were caught, and you didn't know the age of them. Now they kind of have some of the islands figured out where they spawn, and they go there and they wait for them because they'll come in by the tens of thousands, and they'll collect, say, 1,000 in a day, and then they'll leave for a couple weeks and come back. But there are likely, I saw from another Stiphodon, another source that talks about Stiphodons out of Taiwan, a scientific journal. They think that there could be upwards of several hundred species of Stiphodon. Every island that is of any size that has a freshwater river over about 10 miles long seems to have its own Stiphodon out in the Pacific. If not, a schismatic gobies and other gobies too. But these little guys, when they're babies as larvae, they can go in. Oh, you had them for 5 years, Dragon Lair. That's a really good run. you know, most of mine seem to drop off at 3 years. But look at this. He's actually eating there. You guys actually, or she, I should say, was actually eating blackbeard algae off of the leaves. So they eat. A lot of people say there's no fish that eat diatomaceous algae. Well, these ones do, and they'll try to eat it before it even starts. So they'll go eat the biofilm off the glass, and then they've got, it's so fine you don't even feel it if they, you know, try to nip you with their, you know, they're pretty shy. But once in a while, when my hand's in the tank, I'll feel a little nip, and it feels just like a little tiny pinch. And basically, what it is they've got these little bony plates in their mouth, and then they can scrape that back and forth. Like you can actually see the work they do when you see little lines that go side, 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 side. The neorites are the same way. They've got these little things that chomp like a parrot beak almost. And you'll see when they are on the glass, they make a little, it looks like a zipper. And wherever they've been, you can see. So that's kind of cool. This Borneo loach is another one that will actually eat diatom algae too. So that's a Borneo butterfly loach or a spotted Borneo loach, whatever you want to call it. He's got a blue tail and then dots on him. Pretty fun. Nice. Dragon Lair says the 3 males all dug caves under the rocks in their tanks, and the females hung out on top of the rocks. That's pretty common in my tank too. See, here's the females hanging out on top of the rocks, like you were saying. There's 2 of the really plump females. There's the really plump female. You can see her belly. You can see the darkness of the eggs and where the light isn't transparent, right mid-body. But those eggs then are in there, and she'll hang out and display, and then the males will kind of, depending on the species, different species do different things, but the neon gold and the neon blue and the Palawan riffle gobies and the cobalt gobies, which are the ones that I have in here, they usually, the males will pogo stick, and then they'll kind of play hide and seek, where they'll play hide and seek, they'll meet up, and then the female will go move, and the male will wait for her to like perch up somewhere, and then he'll go look for her. And in the process, the males will kind of show off around the way. It's kind of endearing and cute. So this tank is just, for me, endless amounts of fun to watch. Between that and the Luminatus and the Threadfin show off, and they put on these big displays and then zip around this tank. It's only a 20 long, but I don't think you could get a more entertaining tank. In fact, it's probably only 15 gallons of water, because these gobies will climb up. So I keep the water level down. Now, right now, it's really down because we're mimicking spawning. You can see the water line where it usually is. Because we're mimicking spawning, just because, you know, they get colorful. It's good for pictures, but I think it's good for their morale too. I really do. And then at the same time, though, to show you that this water is not very acidic, we're housing chocolate gouramis, which need low TDS. In a high TDS system, frequently these guys die. So it's low enough TDS at 100 that you kind of can pretend that it's Blackwater, yet it's high enough pH, being at 6.5, that we can keep these Central African cichlids. Hey, GRB, what's up, buddy? Craig, hello. So these are those Enigmatic. They look like cribs, I know a lot of people will say, but they're not. They're Enigmatic. Such an enigmatic, such a mysterious name. These are the bluefin Photo or Freya cribs, but they live in up in kind of Western Africa, I guess. Kind of in Guinea, and in Guinea might be the only place, actually. I don't know. That's where these were collected, though, by the Photo River near the town of Piea. But they get this blue color to them, and they sift through the gravel for food. So when I feed bug bites, and I drop them over here, and they'll nip at them, the bug bites, on their own. But they really like doing what you just saw, where the female here, where they eat the gravel, and then they kind of like filter feed it through their gills. And they're also, though, I mean, this lotus pod works great as a ledge. I mean, she treats this more of her cave than the caves that I've given her. So go figure. Never know with fish. So I always like to build them a ledge, a corner, and a cave. You know, put this tube in the corner, and bada bing, bada boom. There's the male. He feels safe over there. They have only teamed up a couple days, so we'll see. Oh, right on, Mick. They've got Stiphodons for sale this week, huh? Right on. That's exciting. Right here. Here's a real good look at that female. She's real she's got the three lines. Her fins have an opalescence to them, and then if she were to raise her dorsal fin and basically the paired fin, I don't think it's an adipose fin technically. I think it's just considered a paired dorsal. But in any case, she'll raise that, and it has black dots in it that are kind of subtle. But the black dots and the stripes in her tail only come when she's full like that of eggs. And then she'll spawn, and then she'll lose the color, and within 2 or 3 days, the males will too. But there is the neon blue. Actually, that might be the cobalt blue. That one's the cobalt blue. If it had neon yellow on its fins, then that would be the like this guy. Of course, he's moving now. And you know, live stream colors suck. They're not very true to life. But that turquoise with the yellow finnage there, that's the neon blue, and then there's a neon gold, and then there's the cobalt. This is the cobalt. Cobalt has more of a brown or orange colored fin on top. So in any case, let's see here. Lavon FLA, what's up? What filter? What kind of filter am I running? So it's just a little 40-gallon filter. It's aqua clear, or not aqua clear, Marineland, not their Rolly one or anything, but just their cheapo one from Petco or PetSmart. I think Petco usually carries them more frequently in my area. Oh, and we have the Enigmatic yellow shadow catfish, or mustard shadow catfish, whatever you want to call them. Burmese border catfish, yellow glass catfish, Asian glass catfish. I don't know. There's so many names for that darn fish in the hobby. But yeah, this tank's really fun. I do a lot of water changes on it, honestly. And the other thing I do that most people probably wouldn't want to do, and recently we had an episode where I said, guess which tank takes up most of my time? It's this one. Because I go in there and I literally clean out every little bit of garbage and poop that I can, because this doesn't have deep filtrations, or you know, a bed of substrate that's been stratified or anything. I'm not going to separate my Stiphodons for breeding, because nobody's ever successfully bred them, even when they've had like saltwater. Even people who are successfully breeding a mono shrimp, and who are breeding, you know, nearite snails, which we know is possible, it's just hard. Even when they do the step process where you kind of create a tank, and it literally, their fry will flow through like 3 or 4 chambers of tanks, getting saltier and saltier, nobody's been able to successfully breed the Stiphodons, unfortunately, or Stiphodons, however you want to say it. And that's a bummer. I hope that changes soon. I know a lot of people are working on it, but I mean, I'm sure it'll be some German. The Germans always figure it out. But it's just, they're really cool, and that's what I was saying. We don't know if they interbreed, because, you know, I've got some Stiphodons over here too. Over here, we've got the Palauan riffle ones, and the green and black striped ones, and the Taiwanese ones, and we just don't know what they do as far as that goes. Now, we also have my Trilineatus that I got from the wet spot down in Portland, the cichlid exchange, the males over here, one of them. Focus. And they haven't injured the Stiphodons at all. which is good news. This one's all colored up, but right now there's so much stuff in this water that these apistos, the TDS is very low in this tank. You can tell because plants rot real quickly. Like, see, he's eating that. But they've been colored up pretty nicely, these apistos, and yet not exhibiting not exhibiting spawning behavior at all that I've seen, or even like caving up. So, or going to a corner or ledge. But I've got caves in here, and I've got dragonstone that has notches that I've broken off so that it has an overhang and then is in the dirt so they could get under there. But Mick is probably the expert on that. These guys, I mean, they flare, and the males chase each other a little bit, but so far no breeding behavior from them. And there's 2 females, 2 males. I know they can be real mean though. The Triliniatus or Trifasciata, I mean, can be really angry little fish and murder one another at times. But so far, everybody's chill. I think it's because they're in a 20 long that is just chock full of stuff and caves, and they have live shrimp to hunt. And boy, do they hunt them. So we'll see. I don't know. I think maybe the females need to get a little bit bigger. But that interaction you just saw there, that's the most I've ever seen the Stiphodons and them spar. So surprisingly, they get along pretty well. But I like to call this tank my pogo stick Stiphodon tank, because these Palauan riffle Stiphodons, they're and also the ornatus, or the rainbow ones, which that's the worst named of the Stiphodons. There's nothing rainbow about them, really. They're more like a green metallic, bronze and green. But sure, let's call them rainbow if we want to sell more of them. But in any case, the Stiphodon ornatus are in here. And the Semoni are in here too. Then, I guess, we were going to talk about Blackwater, which we will get back to. But to finish up the talk, because we've kind of gone on a tangent because they're spawning, which is lucky for us. Then we've got the Anies Stiphodons in here. Oh, and the black darters are out. So that's great. These guys are they used to be more common in the hobby, and now they've become pretty uncommon. I have never seen them at my local stores. That's how uncommon they are. In Seattle, that is. And they have these beautiful little jewels inlaid in their side. And they also will show off. Here's another one if we can get it to focus. They also have a dorsal fin and an anal fin that they show off, and they flitter around, and they spiral in a circle with the other males, and they show off just like the Pseudomugils do. So it's kind of cool, and they actually have like an extended dorsal fin that like gets big and everything. The other thing that we have going on is I forgot this tank probably has blackworms still, but now we have cories in here. I got those longfin panda cories from Aquatic Arts on sale the other day, and I put 6 of them in here. They're kind of baby sized right now, but I've noticed them pulling up worms out of the substrate, especially around lights off time. So that's good. I mean, I'm happy that those worms survived, and that the cories are having fun. They like hunting. People think that cories. Oh, I see a little Annie. Anybody see a face? I see a face. I just saw a face. I can't forget the time and place where we just met. He's just the Goby for me, and I want all the world to see we've met. Annie. Oh, filming. Yes, I am filming, because they are the prettiest. Little Stiphodon. So they are bright orange with metallic blue. They're very similar to Luminatus colors. It's hard to film it right now. But here's a male. They stay this color. When they're spawning, I have never seen a brighter goby. Freshwater. I would say the Mandarin goby is actually brighter. Saltwater one, which isn't saying much, because those things are like the psychedelic fever dream of, Bill Graham or something. But in any case, so these are the little yellow and golden guys. Let's see if we can get view, scare them off and get them to re-land. They're really, really a cool fish. They stay very small. They're the smallest of the Stiphodons that I've had. There's one on this rock too. Let's see. Oh, there's 3 on this rock. 2 stayed for pictures, but that's not conveying their full color. They have this beautiful blue and green metallic shimmer from above, and if we film them side on, they're neon orange and yellow. Let's see if they come back around. Maybe we can get them with some food. So in any case, I just like singing the praises of gobies because we can't breed them in the hobby yet, and I'll try, gall darn it. I'm waiting. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for them to spawn, and I am going to take a turkey baster the next time I see it. You asked if I was going to spawn them. Someone asked in the chat, and I am going to suck that water up and then bring it over to somebody with saltwater tanks. A guy named Chase. I'm going to call him up and be like, Chase, let me in right now. And he does frags, and he also does brackish for a puffer he has that's like 400 gallons. And he does green water that is, yeah, okay, Dragon Lair. I'm obsessed with gobies, fine. And not all gobies, Stiphodons. It's super cool that a little fish that's 1.5 inches long, that's cool little fish that comes in every psychedelic pattern you can imagine, that it is born, and it's literally only double the size of a human sperm cell. That the babies, they have thousands of babies. Those little teeny fish have thousands of eggs and sperm and babies, and then they let them go. They go down the creeks or rivers on little islands. Some of them can be as small as just like a 2-foot wide creek, and then they literally just go with the flow, the babies. And they didn't know this until they got the eDNA testing down, which is a really new thing, but the environmental DNA testing. And then they followed them, and they found that the same genetic lineage of gobies, only 1 generation removed, was showing up to 900 miles away on different islands. So they go out to sea as plankton, as larval fish, basically, and they grow and they eat other plankton, and they just float and they just kind of disguise in their little snaky things. And then once they get big enough, they end up swimming back up the fresh water. But the coolest thing is that they don't always go back to their same island that they spawned on, that they were spawned from. They may go to a completely different island, and then when they have babies, those babies go back to the grandparents' island, and then it switches back. I mean, how cool is that? They're just such a mysterious little fish. And like I said, there are probably hundreds of varieties. We only know about 30. And a lot of them we just call cobalt blue, and we say they're all the same. But then when they test them genetically, they see a drift of 400 or like 40,000 generations or something insane like that. So here you can see the orange on the anise goby. These ones are actually accepting flake food now, which is very rare. Most Stiphodons do need biofilm all the time, and they're not going to eat flake. But these ones, they'll go for 2 brands of flake that I feed. And man, they're so pretty. Okay, all right. I'm done with gobies now. Let's get back to Blackwater and questions. Also, I need a Dr. Pepper. Let me go henceforth into the darkness for the Dr. Pepper. And while you hear this disembodied voice, I'm just keeping. This is the time of year in our state. I don't know about where you guys live, but we just keep everything that needs to be cold, other than like meat. We just keep it out here in the carport, and it's 40 degrees, so we're good to go. Yeah, really cool. Also, what was interesting while I'm walking is Yellowstone Aquatic sent me a video of some of his guppy, some of his endlers or guppies, we don't know for sure, but they have wild markings, which is really cool and really unusual. I don't see wild class guppies hardly ever. I know that the endlers have come back with a bang as a popular thing to find the wild class, but the guppies are getting pretty rare, and they're a real hardy breed when you get that coloration with the finnage. It's really like the same as a wild class Endler colorage, but a little more pastel. And then the fins and the body isn't so teardrop like these guys with the big fat belly and then the swimmer by the caudal peduncle. But the other thing I wanted to show everyone who's been interested in it is this Aponigeton crispus red. It is red. I mean, right here, that's as red as you get in plants. I know it's a live stream. It's hard to tell. It's as red as you get in plants. That's Ludwigia. That's red. And Potamogeton, Hygrophila polysperma, rather, here, as red as you get. This thing is purple and red with a green stripe down the center. And this little cut was sent to me by a guy named William, and he got it from Singapore. And it has maintained its red. At first, I literally thought he sent me something that was dyed. I didn't believe that this morph existed. I'd never read about it, never seen it, and it melted really quickly. And I was like, okay, it was painted, or like dipped in dye. But now it's grown back, and it's purple and red and beautiful. So hopefully it's just now getting to the surface, and hopefully it is a unisexual flower or asexual flower. And what it'll do is it'll put up a bud, and then the bud will have two little florets. And I have a video on Aponigeton ulvaceus and longiplumilosis doing the same thing, but they'll put up these buds and they'll twist. They'll do a twist like this so that they touch, and they literally self-pollinate. And in the wild, if there's another one nearby, there's some chemical signal that tells them to only put one mast up. But if they're alone, they almost always put two or three up and self-pollinate, which I think is really cool. Hey, look, the German blue rams came out. They never come out. Well, I spoke too soon. There they go. They're real shy. But the other thing that I was going to show you real quick was just the rummy nose that are in here are getting to actually have color. The females don't have much color, but the males have their color, and they're looking good. So there's that. And my wife thought that I needed a Jaws for the filter back there. So yeah, this Aponigeton, I've never seen anything like it. This will be one of the big golden boy plants, golden girl plants, whatever you want to call it, of the next few years, I think. I think they've got the mutation of it settled, but it doesn't go to seed with new genetics. Only when it self-clones does this pass on, or through a daughter runner. So the dissemination of this plant through the hobby will be very slow. So hence it being literally, I might as well call William a patron of the channel, because the fact that he gave me that, he's flowered them, growing them immersed, and the fact that he's growing them and has actually gotten seeds. He sent me a seed sprout that was just dark purple already. So interesting stuff. Also, the Turkana cichlids, the jewel cichlids, boy, the female here is bright orange and peach. The male's like a blood red with the blue on it. And they're just going crazy in there right now tonight. For some reason, the big male is just throwing all hell. But there we go. Here's another crispus, Aponigeton crispus, that's not red, the normal color back in there. And so, yeah, just to compare. But those will hold up in Blackwater frequently. The bumblebee gobies, they are chilling. We had one up in the glass a minute ago, or a few minutes ago, but there's one in here, and then there's 5 in the other tank. I wanted to watch the behavior difference when you have 1 versus 5, because there's so many shrimp in here that I figured it would keep this guy busy hunting and foraging. Where did he go? He was hanging out near the top in the back. But he's been hunting pretty much the whole time that whenever I've found him, he's lurking and eating baby shrimp up in here where all these pregnant shrimp are hanging out. See the buried shrimp? He knows that that's his meal ticket. So he's been hanging out there. But I don't know where he is right now. And it's oddly in the opposite corner, we have the Corys. Corey Haim and, oh wait, no, never mind. And then the gobies, or the other little bumblebee gobies that I got from Aquatic Arts. Other ones are up here. Here's one right here. Just hovering mid-water, just doing its thing. Another thing that people are like, what? Is that I have red cherry shrimp, Neocaridina, in this faux Blackwater. And this one even has some tannins that are in the water to the point where this tank's kind of yellowish when you look at it compared to the others. But I like to call that Blackwater, like I was saying. I'm coining that term. And it's just basically when you don't have a buffer, so you're playing a dangerous game, you have to baby the tank. It's not for new aquarists. This tank is a balance. And I do, as much as I think I'm a smarty pants and I know the chemistry that's going on, I still take TDS checks and pH checks on this tank at least once a week to balance everything from 3 Stiphodon species, Pseudomugil luminatus, tin winnie, these Enigmatic lucanzi, and threadfins, the freshwater bumblebee gobies, chocolate gouramis, and chocolate gouramis. These are the samurai chocolate gouramis too. They're not just the chocolate gouramis. Oh, and a sultan pleco that's back there right now. If you can see its tail, the little white flags on its tail back there. I love that sultan pleco, but it never comes out. Mr. Pleco. Let's see here. Alex, what camera are you using? Even moving from one tank to another, you are always in focus. Thanks, man. This is when my phone got stolen. This is that new expensive phone that's like $1,200. It's the Galaxy Note. It's like the size of an iPad. Hey, are you guys spawning? What are you doing? Jackson Pollock fish stick down here with his face in the dirt. You're being a weirdo. He's been blowing bubble nests right here all week. And Rose has really been pressuring him. They're both, oh wait, she does have eggs. What are you doing? What are you doing? She just brought him to the top and then dropped him. What the heck? What are you doing? She's eating them all. You better be putting those in your mouth, woman. So I don't know what he's doing. He doesn't look so normal. That's a weird position. I mean, Betta's sometimes nosedive into the bottom. Oh wait, he's straightening out. He's just curled up in a breeding curl, I think. But she's got all those eggs in her mouth. Is she going to put them on the top? He didn't make a nest for you, honey. What are you going to do? Now this is dramatic. What's going to happen here? She's thinking about it because he didn't make a nest for her. And, boy, poor thing. What are you doing? You got all these eggs down here. There's just all these eggs around this male. I wonder if, wow, he's not. Let's move stuff. That doesn't look healthy. Where's something to move things with? We'll use the most obnoxious thing I can find. Oh, wait, now you're coming back. You're coming back, buddy. Oh, and you're eating the eggs. Are you going to come up and blow bubbles or what? Come on, man. Oh, now you come back to life. Sure. Sure. Do your job, boy. I know he's supposed to be gathering up. He's a lazy bum. Look at. Oh, he put one in his mouth finally. She's got them all in her mouth. Oh, there he goes. Now he's putting them up top. There you go. Where are you going? Yeah, there are some down here, but what are you doing, you weirdo? Make a nest. Ugh. Man, this guy does not get it. I guess he's what do you call it? Still post-coital excited. Maybe he's just in a trance, like you said. Yeah, turning the lights off will maybe help. That's a great idea. I did want to watch it, but maybe we'll give him some privacy. Boom. Yeah, she's flaring. She's mad at him. She's like, build me a nest, you ass. So in any case, we'll look at another tank. We'll give them some privacy. Betta's breeding isn't the biggest thing in the world. That is their first spawn together, Kate. If it's successful. I mean, they've done this a few times, but he always messes it up. He'll either start attacking her mid-spawn or whatever. PJP says, not sure you could perform that well with a giant yelling at you, Alex. That's true. I wish I could steal a fish or a bubble nest from someone else. I wonder if I even have. The thing is, you kind of have to make water frothy to do that. The people. God, I'm spending too much time in the fish room. The fish that make bubble nests all day long are these guys. The male gourami, and he's hanging out in the fast current, which I don't know why. He should be on the far other end where it's dead, but he'll blow nests that actually stay in this moving water around this heater all the time. I think the duckweed kind of gives them some tension to build off of. But yeah, I mean, they're still young. I've only had them, 6 months? So we'll see. We'll see what they end up doing. Hopefully they'll figure it out. I'm just trying to see if there's any bubbles. Yeah, he didn't prep anything. What a bum. He's like that boyfriend that moves in and is like not doing anything, doesn't have a job, and now they're gonna have, a couple hundred babies. And he's like, I promise I'll get a job. I'll quit the band. Come on, honey. Oh, he could have had a nest in a cave. There is a cave down there. Yeah, there is a cave right down there, right where they're at. He could try to mouse spawn. That's rare, but he could be hybridized. I don't know what he is. I bought him. He's just a pretty betta, but they keep crossing breeds and stuff, or I mean, species. So maybe they are going to try to spawn down low. I don't know. Maybe I've got this wrong. Maybe he's a great father. I'll stop making fun of him. I do have some wild bettas, but I wanted to look at these guys because Aquatic Arts has 3 different kinds. They have the Luminatus, which I think they just sold out of. They have the RU2 Pseudomugils, which are Pseudomugil gilberti, these guys that are bright yellow. They look like Furcata, or the fork tail Pseudomugils without the fork tail and with white on them too, with black dots. They're really fun to watch, easy to spawn. And honestly, my money in the next few months is on these Pseudomugils. If you want to make money, have these here and spawn them. I mean, CPDs, Pseudomugils, half-beaks. I think people are going to want those kind of fish, honestly. Dwarf rasboras. And these guys spawn every day for you. These guys, as long as you feed them high protein, the females will at least drop 1 to 4 eggs a day, sometimes like 20 a day. It really depends. But they'll drop good size eggs. Here, it's madness. I can't collect anything here. This is just where they live. But if I wanted to spawn them, they'd be out and about in another tank with 1 piece of mop or whatever. But here you can see the male showing off for the female. Or 2 males, actually. Do we have 2 males fighting? Yeah, we have 2 males fighting. And then Mr. Buffalo Cichlid with the blue lip, who looks like he bit his lip too hard. He's established a cave finally, which is nice. Good to see. Good for him. He's got a job. And the female, she's running away. Come here. Let me show you guys what's going down in this tank right now. Everybody likes to hide in the weeds and the thicket of it all, but you guys know that I'm obsessive when it comes to having 3 species breeding in every tank unless it's a species only tank. So we've got bettas in here. Yeah, I said it. I did it. But we've got half beaks from Borneo. We've got the Pseudomugils from Papua New Guinea. We've got the African blue lip buffalo cichlids. We've got South American catfish, bumblebee catfish. And then we've got, I don't know, 14, 15 barbs from Africa, fire barbs. And then we have the Nicean, or I don't know how you say it, Nicini, Ningensis, whatever, the Dutch one. Ningensis is what it looks like when it's spelled out. Apistos, too, still in here. What am I doing? I don't know. I just like to keep tanks with lots of breeding pairs of things in there. Don't even care if they succeed. I just think that they're probably having a good time and they're probably happy if they're in their breeding colors. So, but with this dense moss, hornwort, guppy grass, bulbitis, onion plant, you name it, Potamogeton gayi, kabamba, all this stuff, it separates this 40 breeder really into 2 entirely different tanks. And what's interesting is if I take a turkey baster and get water from the very bottom here where these blue lip buffalo horns are, or buffalo heads are, we will actually have a TDS that is different, a temperature that is different, and a slight pH difference than right up at the top here where it's got lots of flowing water. And there's also a very, very active live bacteria culture. A lot of people keep that clean. They don't want it to look like that. I found that my tanks where the most things spawned, like at the same time, the most critters, usually have a very slimy, healthy bacteria. Now, it can't smell. It needs to be fungus, algae, bacteria, and it can't smell, and it can't clog the actual sponges and filter pores. But, and this one right now, I've actually got it plugged up with a bit of filter floss so that so some of it comes back down and just splashes. It's like my cheap trick to make a waterfall rather than, so if you, on these ones, on these marine lands, if you just take, or I mean, what are these, tetra? No, these are, yeah, never mind, these are tetra. These are the tetra, what are they called? They have an LED light, I think, and some of them have the wheels. The wheels suck, the penguin ones or whatever. I don't like them. I think they're gimmicks. Sorry, they don't suck. They're fine, but they're extra. That doesn't do much. You can get just as much surface area on your own spillway, and basically, you can take filter floss and wrap it around where that gooseneck goes down into the impeller. You can just plug that up, and half the water will spill back out. So if you want the negative ions and the humidity that is like water hitting other water and popping and sparkling, you can still get that without having an air stone or a power head or anything. You can just plug that up on your filter, and that's what I do. And then it's still running, though, the full length of this over the filtration to do the antibacterial bit. All right, I saw a comment that was some help for these beautiful little bettas. What was it? Well, I will add the Yeah, maybe Mick. They could be. Yeah, okay. And then Chris says, put a piece of styrofoam cup or almond leaf on the top so the eggs can stick to it easily. Yeah, there's a bunch of water lettuce that has roots that they could be sticking to, and they also have this banana leaf. I'll move it so it's more obvious, like you were saying. They have that banana leaf, which is actually 5 banana leaf sections knotted together. But yeah, you're right. So now they have all the help I can give them. I don't know what else to do. Otherwise, I'll just watch and fold my arms and be like, come on, hurry up, do your thing. Now, another tank that's kind of interesting Blackwater wise is this. This tank's acidity has dropped really low. And I've got those Panduro cichlids in here. I think it might be a case of old tank syndrome. I got Medaka rice fish in here who don't really give a damn what you do with them. And then I've got least killifish, which tend to like harder water, but also they don't really care what's going on in their living habitat. Um, but yeah, these three Panduro cichlids that I got, blue panda cichlids as they're called, they're hanging, or pistos as they're called, are hanging out in this low boy. And they're just chilling. I think it's a 12.5 gallon. And they're hanging out. There's caves in here for them. They've already gone in the caves. So I don't know why the other fish can't get it together and go in their caves. But yeah. So there's that. And then there is so that's going on. And the substrate is ADA substrate. And there's just a lot of mulm. I mean, we're talking a lot of mulm. Can you guys see the amount of dust mulm in here? And the snail shells have been in here, what, 5 years almost? So they have gone to like calcium, and the buffering job they do is not that great anymore. And so I wanted to try out these Panduro cichlids here, the Apistos here. Here's another one. I think this one's the male, hopefully. I don't know. It's got the most color. And the other two hang out together and they seem to flitter off. But yeah, you can catch them here looking at them from above. But in any case, they're hanging out in there, and the pH is like 5.5, even though the water's perfectly clear. It's because I never do water changes here. It's all just acidic substrate, and it's like Brightwell does, but even more so. World Aquarium Singapore, hey, how are you doing? If you talk to big time betta breeders, they all say shallow tanks are the best for breeding, no deeper than 8 inches. Yeah, definitely. And I know that as far as if I were doing a big breeding project or anything like that, but pretty much all my fish I'm not really worried about if they breed or not, other than a few endangered species I keep, and then I feel obligated. Like actually, these guys who you can't even see their glory because of all the crap that's growing in here. But these guys, unexpectedly, I was cleaning Vanity's tank and put her in here, and somehow it turns out that the male haplochromis over here in my big bow front is quite attracted to her, even though he is not the same species at all. So here he comes. He's been colored up for 2 weeks because of her. So she's like his little, like my little breeding charm, I'm hoping, because the females are just driving him insane, wanting to spawn. And she's just frightened because he keeps trying to like twist around her, and she just like freaks out and like slams into the glass. You can see where she's hit the glass here with her side of her body. But he's got a cave built and everything. I mean, like literally he moved pebbles like probably, half a pound or a quarter of a kilogram weight. He scooted pebbles into place to make this little nest, and then moss and sticks and everything he could steal from the rest of the tank. And he's built this fortress that he's guarding. But he'll come out of the fortress and he tries to flirt with her. Glow in the dark female betta. Wait, how you go by breeding your glow in the dark female betta? I don't have any glow light bettas. I used to have a yellow glow betta like a few years ago, like when they first came out, like a year and a half ago or whatever that was, 2 years ago. But she passed away. But and she was never healthy. She was one of those glow fish, and they gave her to me in a cup when she wasn't looking so hot at my local Petco. Hey, the Kuliloches are out. But yeah, I mean, but if you're asking about this Betta that's just so white, she glows. I got her from Betta Queen, and she's spitting out eggs again and dropping them down here. They've got like a Sawassertong nest, if you guys can see it, where they've got it, and he's putting the eggs in between the rocks and blowing bubbles. I don't know what they're doing. I'm really curious what they're gonna do. Yeah, I have lots of shrimp. There's shrimp in there with them. There's golden striped shrimp in here. There are blue dreams from Lucas Brett's LRB in here. There are, where are they? They haven't been so healthy, this colony lately. They were flourishing. There was like 100 of them. But this is another tank that I think I'm gonna have to reset soon because the shrimp have just been slowly dying off in this tank. Like the babies just aren't numerous enough to replace the parents. And they've been hiding, and it's just too densely. But then I've got those. I've got cheetah shrimp, blue raccoon caridinas, blue rillies, Japanese short nose algae eaters. We've got the red cherry shrimp in this tank, fire red painted fire, and there was one just hanging out right here. I'm gonna go. There's about 12 in here right now, and then the other ones are up here in the dark, which I'm not gonna bug everyone because I've got other fish up here, right here. My scarlet batis, I'm trying to breed, so I'm leaving them in the dark for a few days. I mean, they get enough light ambiently, but I have much better luck spawning those suckers when that's going on. Oh, I caught you. I saw you were trying to get with her. Is it mean of me to like leave her in here? I mean, she's got females literally saying like, pick me, pick me, pick me, instead of them. And she's just confused. Glow bettas do make glow babies. You're just not allowed to do it legally. And then I've got these ones, these orange realies, which are the best quality orange realies I've ever seen. I'm not just saying that, but those are from Aquatic Arts that I got during my last unboxing. And they just look phenomenal. And then they're with the CPDs. And that's because the CPDs aren't big enough to eat them or hurt them. They are big enough to eat and hurt their babies, however. Come on, focus. They are big enough to eat and hurt the babies. But what I'm counting on in this tank is the fact that I have these shrimp already in here, which are the Malawa shrimp from the island of Sulawesi. And they've already had a bajillion babies. So the CPDs are eating the clear shrimp. That's what they're hunting. There's one right up here. And they've already learned to hunt those. So I'm kind of seeing how that does. But what I've been doing in here with the colony breeding CPDs is I've just been basically putting the CPDs in here. Then I'll take them out for a day or two, and then I'll put them back. After I've seen if any babies hatch, scoop the babies out, put them in another tank. Sometimes I just scoop babies from the colony and leave the parents in there. But I find that if I separate the females and males every few weeks and then leave them for 2 or 3 weeks, I can get them to spawn year round because they're kind of re-excited to see the other gender again. And I have done lots of videos on CPDs. They're really easy to sex once they're adult, and they're really easy to spawn too. So watch those videos if you want a rundown on all of that. But yeah, so I've got all the baby CPDs up on that same upper shelf up top there too. All my Tannins are laid out on this couch right here, and I'm gonna do a series soon of all the different tannins you can use. So we've got jackfruit leaves. These are high in anthocyanin, so yellow and red fish that need those colors, or purple fish. If the pH is alkaline, it'll make purple and blue much stronger. Whereas if it is acidic, these will make the color red much stronger pigment-wise, and yellow. Lotus pods, great hiding spots, especially for like, I've even seen Shelleys take up some of the big slots, but I would say that they don't produce much tannic acid. They're just more ornamental. These ones anyways. If you want to do a big old dose of tannin, these coconut husk flower rosettes where the coconut falls off the tree, they look like little daisies. These are all from Aquatic Arts too, by the way. But they look like little daisies, and these have a bunch of tannic acid and tannins there. The next one we have are the guava leaves. These ones are really nice. They're like harder versions of the Aquatic Arts almond leaves. So Aquatic Arts has these big almond leaves that take up, I don't know, several, like both my hands outspread. But these are the guava leaves, and they give you 25. You can see it's a good size pack, and these stay together pretty well. The ribs on them are really defined. Now these are like straight up shrimp food. The shrimp love to eat those. Yeah. And then these are the banana leaves, or bamboo leaves, sorry. The banana leaves are on the floor. These are the banana leaves. I said it again, bamboo leaves, and they just cut white bamboo and then they tied off stalks of them. I mean, this is like, if you need leaves to look rustic but want faux Blackwater that doesn't have tannins hardly, this is your value pack right here, fellas. See if I can show off how many there are. It's like a stack or a wad of money. I mean, it is just a wad of tannins in there. And then they've got fresh moringa leaves, or mulberry leaves and moringa leaves. But here's the mulberry leaves. These gone in seconds. They keep these in green shape. So they have the chloroform, but or chlorophyll, not chloroform. Use your words, Alex. So they have the chloroform, and they also have a neutral acidity. Whereas, like, here we go, moringa leaves are full of vitamins, antioxidants, antifungals, antimicrobials, and this dust-like stuff you just sprinkle on the top of the tank. It settles down and then floats around, and the fish and shrimp, it diffuses the nutrients through the ecosystem. Now, what I recommend is if you have a fast spawning shrimp, also cinnamon leaves. These are beautiful. They actually smell slightly like cinnamon. Now, this is not the bark. The bark would be too powerful for a tank, probably. Plus, it has terpenes in it that are not the best for fish. But, boom, the smell of that, it smells like fresh cinnamon, which is great. And then we've got coconut shells that's, you know, I do like aquarium co-ops. They use smaller coconuts. They're great for apistos and stuff, and they're cheap. But these are actual full-size coconuts, so they're better for like the blue-lipped fish that was in there, the buffalo head that was in there. Also, almond fruit still in the pod, or catapa fruit, if you want to call it that. I'm allergic to almonds, so I shouldn't even be handling that. But and then banana leaves. These are really plantain leaves, if you want to know the truth. Banana leaves are ginormous. But those plus alder cones and acorn caps and cinnamon, they do have cinnamon bark. It's not the peeled back cinnamon tree that you're thinking of. It's a different species of cinnamon from Vietnam. And it is chunky. It looks like beauty bark. I didn't get any. They were out when I ordered. But almost all those things are in this tank here. And I'm really hoping they do like a pack of everything at Aquatic Arts. But since I have these shrimp, all these Malawa shrimp in here, the hope is that the shrimp and or snails, worms, copepods, seed shrimp, all that stuff that's in here will eat all of this good, nummy, botanical waste that's here, as they do. I mean, you can see there's a skeleton. That's the shrimps doing. That they're going to eat all that, and that then, as this fish is trying to do right now, the fish are going to eat those shrimp that are full of the antioxidants and color enhancing molecules. Just adding it straight to your water, there's some question about the ability, the bioavailability, as we call it, which is how much of it your body metabolizes versus how much you excrete through urine or feces. But fish do absorb a lot of oxygen through the air. I mean, Corys, literally, this species in particular, the Similis, was the one that they found doing a breathing thing at the surface, and they thought, oh, it must have a labyrinth organ, or it must have veins in its stomach or esophagus to breathe. Nope. This guy has veins in his butt, his colon, lower intestines, to breathe. So literally, he's breathing burps and then turning them into farts and farting out CO2. That's what this Cory does. There's a whole scientific paper on it. There's actually a few. So fun, the more you know. But no, that tank that has all those tannins in it will not be getting water changes frequently. It will be settling in as acidic. It has quite a bit of buffer, and if you watch my Blackwater episode that just came out last week, part 1, we'll do a part 2 in a few days. I'll film it. Probably be out in a week. I'll update on what's happening to the chemistry. I'll show you the tests and stuff. But this one, we may go all the way Blackwater. The only thing is the shrimp. Now, I've had these shrimp, though, in a lot of different tanks. And they're Siloaceae shrimp. They're not just Neocaridina or Caridina or, bamboo shrimp or your run-of-the-mill shrimp. They're in almost all my tanks, no matter what the chemistry is. I mean, they're in this tank, they're in this tank, that tank, that tank, that tank, those tanks. Malawa shrimp are my go-to. I got them at one point, and I realized how versatile they were, and I thought, let's breed them everywhere. And I started colonies 6 or 7 years ago when I first got my fish tank set up going again. I started the colony back up, and my lemon pleco is out to say hello, by the way. Hello, everybody. I am the color of Tillamook cheddar cheese. And then the Angels, the boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. Okay, all right, I'll stop that. But yeah, I moved those Angels. I had Vanity over here, but she was being super mean, the big blue angel fish. So I put her in that tank with the meanest fish I had to chill her out. But yeah. Hey, thanks, GRB. Yeah, I mean, I try to keep my tanks healthy ecosystem-wise. All these have absolutely zero nitrates. When I test them with test strips, they're usually about 10 or 20 parts per million with the liquid test. And that Haplochromis tank, it's the one exception lately. It does actually get them. But I'm literally cutting every month probably 5 pounds of plants out of this tank here, probably a pound or 2 out of this tank here. So that's a lot of nitrates. You're literally carrying them out. So any food I sprinkle in, the equivalent weight I'm definitely carrying out. I bet even if I dried it, it would be close to the weight of what I put in. So I think it's Danny, yes. By the way, guys, if you haven't seen Danny's ballroom blitz, I mean, don't sue his duckweed dance, as it were. Check that out. Man, it's creative and funny on Danny's channel there in the chat. If anybody wants to post a link, or if you just go to Danny's name, you can click on it. But yeah, man, it's very well done. Stephen P 2003 also though. So let me do that plug again, because Kenny, my man, who I'm gonna see tomorrow, and let me turn some lights on. My wife turned every light in the place off right before she left. When she's here, every light in the world is on. When I'm home, she's like, turn the lights off. What do you think? We live in a barn? And I'm like, I don't know the answer that's correct to say. But in any case, let me get rid of this. Okay. All right. There we go. So, and sorry if I'm a little sweaty. That fish room's like 82 degrees right now. But Stephen P, 2003, listen to me. If you are not subscribed, then Kenny wants to bribe you into checking out Rico the Great on Rico Stan's channel, and Stephen P 2003. Come with me. Let's go and see if they've reached 1 grand yet. So $50 will you find from Kenny E if you're kind and subscribe to his bribe. I'm like Bilbo frickin' Baggins over here. So in any case, yeah, but check out those channels if you haven't yet. I'm not saying you have to subscribe, just saying they're near 1,000. There are people who put the time in over the last year or two or whatnot, however long, you know, some of them haven't been around that long, but they've been putting in the time every week, and they're fun, they're kind-hearted people, and talented people. And so I think I subscribe to people like that. I don't always need to feel like I'm sitting down and I'm learning something, or oh, they bought a Ferrari and that's so cool, you know. Like I don't subscribe for those reasons. I subscribe to watch growth and to be a part of a community, and it's really that's what I think is rewarding about getting on early when a channel's under 1,000 subscribers, because the creators will really know you. And not to be selfish, but I like to be friends with those people when they're still small, so I actually can chat with them and get to know them, because I know that's true. I can't keep track of 20,000 of y'all, but I can keep track of 100 of you on a live stream. So there's that. Yes, I am going to be in Portland tomorrow, Alyssa. Well, at the end of the day, we're starting off the day here. I may be at the swap because I have a lot I could swap, and I don't have a lot of money. And I bought from Jason, since he's one of the only certified retailers. In fact, he Redfish, Bluefish, he's certified ADA retailer, and Twin Star, UNS, like all the aquascaping stuff. So I bought 2 Twin Star lights from him. My mom actually said, why don't you buy yourself one for Christmas? And I was like, I bet they won't be around at Christmas because of shipping. And she's like, well, here's $200 towards them. Why don't you get them now? And then as she did that, like a couple weeks ago, and it all started because we were sitting in my living room here, and this light started blinking, and she's like, that's going to give me a seizure. It's so annoying. You need to get a new light. And I was like, well, they're not cheap. You want to buy me a new light? But yeah, so in any case, Danny says, I'm subbed to the channel that actually talks about fish. Alex going to start swinging from the chandeliers soon. Yes, I will. Any case, does anybody need any help? Any thoughts? Any input? MMA Radio, you found me when you were looking for aquatic plants? Well, great. I have aquatic plants. Looney Tunes. Lonnie, aka Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes. Lady Diana. Your barn lights are always on. Yes. And the plan in the corner is looking kind of worn out. Doing the duckweed dance. I don't know if those are the words, but I think there's something like that. It's real clever. In fact, I want to get off this stream so I can go listen to both Stephen P's Live Bear Mosh Pit And also the duckweed dance song. Like, we're actually, these parodies used to just be so bad that we all laughed in the community about like that was pathetic, but cute attempt. Now we actually have people like mixing and like have good mics and like musicians that know how to do stuff. It's getting scary. It could get serious here. Can a UV light can I can you run a UV light on a high-tech planted tank? Oh yeah, of course you can. The cons are that you're gonna pay more money. Other than that, UV light, I mean, like if you're talking about they do have UVA and B LEDs now, by the way, so that's a misnomer. And if you get full spectrum, it will imitate that to the point where you can actually get sunburns now if you buy the right thing. If we're talking about like weed growing plants and lights and stuff, or coral growing lights and things like that. However, if you're talking about a aquarium UV light for sterilizing or for growing frags, that's not the frequency of light that plants want. That's too blue. Some of that spectrum is what plants want, but not all that spectrum. So if you had like a sun blaring down in a 3-foot deep tank, then yes, you could do it. Should you do it in most tanks? No, don't do it. Don't bother with it. If it is a T5 bulb that says it has UV properties, that just means it's full spectrum, and they probably put some sort of I don't even know what it is. One of the noble gases, you know, is probably in there, like, I don't know, beryllium or, you know, some random element that when electrified creates a certain resonance of light frequency that is in the UV or ultraviolet spectrum. That would be my guess. But now they have diodes that do that too. So I don't know exactly what you were asking, but I hope that info helps. Oh, sweet. Holly, you got a used RO system for free, huh? They are not hard to. Gosh dang it! I literally just spilled my Dr. Pepper all. Well, I'm trying to film downward and I'm filming myself. I just spilled it all over the mail. My wife's going to be happy about that. Hold on, let me get paper towels. But no, they're not that hard to set up. There's lots of good guides online, depending on which one you got. There are some that are like, what are all these for? That are for different purposes than just aquarium stuff, or they're for like multiple aquariums and multiple water inputs. But the straightforward ones, like most are for aquarium filtration or, you know, beer making, that kind of stuff, they are, you know, pretty easy. I think you'll be able to just YouTube the brand or even just Google image search, you know, RO units or RODI units. I haven't ever had one because my tap water comes out at, you know, 20 parts per million TDS. Like the chlorine in it probably evaporates off and I get like, you know, it settles at 10 or 15 TDS sometimes. So I really don't have to worry about it. I'm lucky in that sense. In the other sense, I have to add a lot of fertilizers, potassium, calcium, salts, iron, zinc, manganese, you name it, to my tanks. Nitrates in the form of fish poo. I try never to buy nitrates. Why would I want to buy nitrates when I could own more fish that make the nitrates and the phosphates for me, and then just feed them a good diet so that they poop it out? And when they die, just let them die in the tank and have enough buffer of bacteria that it's okay. Mushroom tea, anybody? I'll have some fish tropic. Ooh, want to see your cool biker? Bashir? I don't know how to say it. Everyone says it different. Don't pretend you know. Let's see here. I've been boiling pieces of driftwood for almost 2 weeks. Tannins still coming out. David, throw it in a bucket for like 2 weeks out in the yard or outside. Submerge it in water, sink it if you have to, and just let it steep. Don't do the boiling over and over. You're going to always get stuff out of boiling it pretty much. You need microbes to help you, microbes and fungi. So it's probably near done with what you're thinking will be tannins in water, depending on what kind of wood you used. I mean, if you use mahogany or Mopani driftwood, it could take a while. But if you use pine or, you know, beech or birch or, I mean, heck, I've even used cedar when it's been waterlogged long enough, and all the what do you call those things? The smelly things, aromatic chemicals are out of there. All the terpenes and things are out of the log because it's been floating in the sun and in the water for, you know, a year in the ocean. Let's see here. When is it tent weather where you live? It's tent weather now, where I live, Fish Tropic, that's for sure. It's been submerged. I've been doing both. Oh, dang, David, that's crazy. Huh. Really, you're tired of it. You don't want to deal with it in your tank. Well, my guess is most of the chemistry of it is done at that point. How often are you changing that water though? Because I mean, you do need to go through quite a bit of water to get soak wood. That's what's more important than how long you soak it, really, is how often you're throwing that water out when soaking it. Because you could soak it for a year, but if it's sitting in its own water, then it's not really doing anything. But if you soak it and every day you're changing the water, then those oils and the, you know, tannins are going to keep coming out. What you need is pine has no business in any of my tanks. Yeah, no, nor should cedar for most people. That was an experiment in a Danio tank when I was younger and I was experimenting with things. No, driftwood's fine if it's been at sea long enough. If it's like white and you cut through it and it's white all the way through and just dry as a bone and it's been piled up on the beach in the summer or whatever, at the ocean, it's fine. But if it's lakeside driftwood, it's a maybe. And if it's not bone dry or not white, and I mean, you know how long cedar has to be sun bleached with UV to turn white. The other thing is when you put wood in a bucket like that to get the tannins out, it's important that you let the cellulose start seeping out. So if you don't see white and milky slime or clear milky slime coming out of it, that's kind of gross and kind of slippery and I don't know how to explain it, like kombucha film that's on top of a kombucha. That's kind of what it is. It's taking the cellulose. It's a fungi that takes the cellulose. It's called clear water rot. It's taking the cellulose and it's using that for its own cells. And then fish and snails and things will come and eat that. They'll eat that gross white gunk. To them, it's like chanterelle mushrooms or button mushrooms. But yeah, I'm debating whether to get a school of longfin neon tetra or cardinal tetra for the new 120 gallon. Well, the cardinal tetra are definitely hardier. The longfin tetras they're disease prone, I have to say, and they're prone to picking at each other's fins in big groups. I had 3 of them. They're incredibly beautiful fish. Jason's the only person at Redfish Bluefish that I know of who's imported them, honestly. And so if you want to wow people with the rare factor, you could get some of those and mostly peaceful other fish and you'd be fine. But their fins are so long that other fish will pick on them. They look like fishing lures to other fish. So they're kind of better for a nano tank, honestly. Like a 5-gallon tank, when you put like 6 of them in there, would be like ideal. But man, a school of them, that would be next level. And it would be expensive because they're like 15 or 20 bucks a pop every time I've seen them. Oh, you get them in Canada, huh? Let's see here. Yeah. Well, guys, I'm going to get off. I thought Rico was actually going to join me and talk about the Christmas giveaway. But Rico Stan has been doing, I joked months ago that with his beard, I said, "Are you gonna be the fish family Santa?" And we were laughing about it, and he was like, "You know what? I should be." And then Rico came to me and was like, "Let's do this for real." And he built a website and everything. I don't know if anybody can throw a link up to the fish family uh, giveaway slash Fish Miss Eve thing, but Lonnie, thank you so much. $2 super chat for the Dr. Pepper replacement fund. You know what? I appreciate it, and that's about perfect because I spilled about 2/3 of it, and they're about $2.53 in Seattle with the dumb soda tax they have here. Yeah, that's a good point, Dragon Lair. Put polyfilter, or the other one you could use is Safety's Orb. Pack that in the water with your wood in a bucket or trash bin. Fill it up. Turn up the heat on it if you can. It'll happen faster. Or put a fish tank heater in there. If it's about 100 degrees, you'll get all sorts of bacteria growing on it, 90 to 100, and you'll cook the hell out of those tannins. The microbes will attack. They'll multiply 3 times faster than they do normally, and it'll be out of there pretty quick. A Monster drink. Monster is not any more expensive than soda. Like soda and Monster are the same price because of the tax on sugar. And proportionally, it has less sugar usually than a soda. And I don't know if there's a caffeine tax, but they have tax on everything in this city. It's ridiculous. We have the most regressive taxes for a progressive city. Like we have a bunch of socially progressive laws. Like you can pee in the street and do drugs in the street. And I'm not necessarily against all those things, but I'm just saying you can do those things, but then they tax the poorest people most harshly in the city usually. Anyways, not going to get into it. Let's see here. Yeah, don't forget to get in on Jess's Secret Santa details on mains, tails, furs, and fins. Yeah, you know, yeah, that is kind of the same. I think it overlaps. I think her Secret Santa and his guppy giveaway are somehow inextricably linked by the Force, but I don't know how because Rico's not here. I sent him a link, but it's really late his time. It's like 1 in the morning, later than, I don't know, it's like 1 in the morning or something, midnight. So yeah, but I'll have him on one of these nights, or maybe I'll just upload a video with him. We'll just do that, and then people can get the rundown if they're interested. But basically, he's going to appear like Santa. We've got over 12 grand donated from viewers just like you, and he's going to pop into streams, and he's going to say, you, and he'll pick a person or a couple people, and he'll give them like $50 or $100 gift card on YouTube streams all through the month. And you can win just by being there. You don't even have to contribute. But if you do contribute, then we have more to give away. So we have corporate sponsors. We have Aquarium Co-op. I think Aquatic Arts is in on that. I'll have to ask Haley about that. And then, yeah, so should be cool. But look up Rico Stan's channel. And then I bet he has something posted about it. And I know he has a website if you Google Rico Stan Fish Tube or Fish Family. And you can find it there. But Secret Santa, oh, right, Danny, yeah. So Jess is doing Mains, Tails, Fins, for the Aquatic Morning Show with Rocco. They're doing also a, what do you call it, like a Secret Santa, kind of like a white elephant thing, but basically gifts you want. So and it's person, you sign up, they assign you a person, and then you have to mail it out. But you got to get on that quick if you want to participate. All things fish. Hey, what's up, Patrick? What's up? Your Secret Santa living in your aquarium. That's right. If I see you right on, that's clever. Why didn't I think of that? Why aren't I so freaking clever? All right, guys. Well, what about turkeys for the kids? Fish. Yeah, turkeys for the kids. That's what gangsters used to do. They used to give out free turkeys in the ghetto. Like, Like the Jewish, Purple Gang would do that in Chicago and New York, and then the Italians would do it, and the African American, like Frank Lucas and Frank Wright, would do that, and you know. Anyways, I need to get some turkeys so people think I'm gangster. What are you doing? I don't know, just giving out turkeys in my neighborhood here in Seattle. They're like, these are middle class people. Like, yeah, that's how gangster I am. They're my underlings. All things fish. You must live on the other side of the world. Yeah. You're traveling for work. I see. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here so you guys can go enjoy the other things going on the internet late at night, which nothing good happens after midnight. So if it's after midnight where you are, please, cut off your fingers and go to bed. But if it's 9:40 like it is here on the West Coast, continue to party, folks. And I know if you're watching this with me talking about tannins, you must be some hard partying son of a guns. So carry on, guys. Thanks for coming out tonight. Thanks, new members, lurkers, mods, super chatters, duper chatters, people who just chatter, and all you with great tips and advice for my sexually challenged, sexually frustrated freaking bettas. I don't know. We'll see what happens with them. But thank you, Sonic Quack. All right, guys, have a great night. Take care, and I'll talk to you later. Actually, I forgot to tell you. Last thing. Boom. I'm still here. I didn't leave. I'm still partying. Party. But I will be streaming at noon Pacific time. I'll be doing an hour-long talk on the 10 events that revolutionized the aquatic hobby or the aquarium hobby, going all the way back from when men kept fish in ponds in primitive villages to glowfish. Enough said. But yes, thank you guys. Thank you, members. Thank you, patrons, Patreons. Thank you, friends. Thank you, lurkers. I will talk to you all later. And thank you so much, guys. You're the highlight of my days so often. And today that was also true. So have a good one, guys. And get Stephen P. and Rico Stan to 1,000, and we can bilk Kenny E. Danikin Aquatics out of $100 total. $50 for each stream. Later, guys. Check those people out. Stephen P. just commented. Get him. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.